Hello everyone. So just doing a video post going to a card show again today. So this is the second video I've done. It was the same card show I went to previously, or the same group that hosted it, the Northwest Card Show. The previous one was at the Warrington Rugby Ground, while this one was in a much bigger venue, the Exhibition Centre, Liverpool. Which you can sort of see in the background here. So this show comparatively, I think the previous one had something like 12 or 16, maybe 20 sports tables, whilst this one had, I believe 50 tables of sports. So it was in Liverpool today. I was there for about 2.5 hours. As you'll see from what I've purchased, I was quite busy going through going to the sellers that had like the flick through cards. So I've got a lot of lower value cards. So first I wanted to sort of share what I picked up today, and then I'll sort of summarise my thoughts of the event. So along the top was the magnetic card holders I purchased. I got one of this brand, Ultra Pro, and then I got the rest of the piles here off the hobby stock booth. So I got plenty of the 55 point holders that I use for the majority of my collection. They're like these cards, the holders here. Might as well bring a one of one into view since I have it in my range at the moment. So yeah, this is how I like to display my cards, and I've run out. So I've got plenty of the 55s, I've got some 130s. These are for like the thicker cards. I can get one of them down as well. A recent card that came needed one of them. This used my last one, so I got this Frank Lampard card, and they're a little bit thicker because they have the patches in them. So I've got, that's what those are for. So I got plenty of them. I knew I needed some, so I waited till this show today to collect them. It was quite busy this show when I first got there, just after 11. So I was struggling to get in to see any of the cards at people's tables, because all it took was 2 or 3 people to be looking and you couldn't see. The first table I actually managed to get in and see was mainly sort of pricier football stuff. But when they saw that I had my Red Bull jacket on, they said, "Are you looking for F1?" and then just gave me these bundle of cards for free. I'm not sure who the sellers were, because they didn't really have any of the cards I was after. But yeah, give me this variety of Paddock Pass cards and then 4 base Chrome cards. So yeah, that was really nice. And then I spent quite a bit of time at a couple of tables. Well, I spent quite a bit of time during the day at certain tables, at ones that had a lot of the like buy X amount for this amount kind of things. I didn't buy any boxes at this show. I behaved myself, but I did buy 1 pack of select Premier League 22-23. Leeds could have actually been in these, but I didn't get any Leeds players. Got Darwin Núñez field level, and then I got 1 parallel card, Matty Cash. I think they're Red Waves. So yeah, that was the card I got from that. And then this big old pile here, the odd card was from different sellers. I think those 2. Start with these 2. So I got these from a particular seller. This Marquinhos just looked quite cool. And this Pedro Neto. Quite a lot of what I'll show in my next pile is stuff I got to put on my eBay page. I just wanted I like having stuff from different teams, so people who support a certain club can come on and buy multiple cards. Because even for like this Pedro net, I probably won't be selling it for more than £1, and probably after postage costs and stuff, I might make a loss on it. But I like to just have things available, because when you open boxes, you end up with just like random parallels of cards. And what I find is people like to buy multiple cards from a team. And then some of these cards in here were really good value. And stuff. So some of them are really cool, but it's just stuff like this, Ronaldinho, parallels like this. So I went to a couple of sellers, and they had you could get 5 cards for £1, and it's all stuff they just don't want to put the time into getting rid of, which I can understand. But things like this, the blue, they're not numbered, these blue parallels from Select, but this Luis Diaz is a card that Liverpool fans will still want, like Alvarez from the FIFA Select, and yeah, Alisson red from Liverpool. So I just picked up a variety of bits. These Kings and Queens, I do like these cards, so they were to go in one of my binders. And stuff like Samuel Eto'o is a cool card to have. The Messi is really cool. A Refractor of David Villa. I think I'm going to keep that one. But it's all stuff like these. A lot of the ones I was finding in these piles are like the not numbered short prints. And they are quite tricky to sell. But I just thought I'd pick them up. And I quite like doing my eBay as a hobby. So anything I can get for good value, like these cards, it's good. Like this is a really cool one, Gavi. Obviously spent a lot of time out injured. One of the Leeds United's new players. But he should get some Leeds United cards this year. So I won't be keeping that one. But when he gets some Leeds ones later this season, I will be. So yeah, just a whole bunch of stuff. I will be keeping that one, actually. That one could go out of this pile so I don't get them mixed up. So yeah, just a wide variety of stuff in there. So yeah, I found those really good. I spent a lot of time at those tables. But I did find out some bits that I really wanted myself. So this was actually the only card I bought from a particular seller. I think I paid £1 for it. I'm a big fan of Panini Silvers, which are like the base cards but shinier. I'm not sure how well it'll come off on the camera, this silver. But yeah, an England Harry Kane card. I've definitely not turned down. One of my all-time favourite players. I just think he's amazing, and don't think I really got much of him in England, so I picked that card up. Next one. So yeah, I paid £10 for this one. Matt Viduka, ex-Leeds United striker. A little bit before I started to watch, but my dad watched Leeds heavily when he was Leeds' starting striker. And he tells me how good he was. Obviously, this is a Newcastle card, and I don't think he was particularly good at Newcastle. I only really know about his Leeds stint. But yeah, not a Leeds player I didn't own the autograph of, so I was happy to add that one. And then I managed to get this one for £10 as well. So another ex-England player and sort of Premier League legend player that I don't own the autograph of. I always liked Jermaine Defoe. Proper poacher style striker, and sort of fancied his autograph for a while, and I thought that was a good price. From one seller, I've got a couple of Leeds United cards I don't have. Rafinha was obviously, he's gone on to be one of the best wingers in the world. And this was during his second season with us from the Donruss set. I really like these Elite Deck cards. And then one of my favourite players of all time, Stuart Dallas. This again is from the same Donruss set, one of the insert cards. So they were £1 each. Got 2 red Virgil van Dijks. Again, these were like 20p each, and I think you can't you can't go wrong. I think these are really cool cards, being Liverpool. I'm sort of working out if I want to keep both or keep one of them. But I've been looking to get a nice Van Dijk card. Personally, this image is cool, but I like the design of that card better. But yeah, these are really cool. There's probably other things in this big pile that I'm going to keep as well. I just haven't sorted through it yet. Next card. Yeah, again, I paid £1 for this. I don't own any of these top Spanish Bundesliga die cut cards, but I think this is super cool. Again, I don't have any cool Manuel Neuers, so I'm happy to add this to the collection. When I was going through flicking through the cards in this sellers, and I immediately took this one out. Yeah, so I think only goalkeepers got these in that set of this certain design. So I really like that one. This was one of my favourite pickups of the day. Crysencio Somerville. Obviously not a Leeds United player anymore. He's currently at West Ham. But he was amazing for us in the Championship 2 seasons ago. Championship player of the season, which got him the move to West Ham. Back when these came out, these were redemption autographs, which I think is why this Panini sticker is on the mag case. I've been wanting to get one of these for a while. Again, another Leeds United player I didn't own the auto of, and I thought that was a really fair price. So I happily picked this one up. I think it came from the same seller I got this off as well. And then my biggest pickup of the day was an absolute Premier League legend. I didn't pay 65 for this card. I think I paid 55 in the end. I just think I've been wanting to get a Kevin De Bruyne autograph. I sort of have a display shelf that I have legends on. So at the moment I've got Lineker, Shearer, Rooney, Lampard, Torre, all their autographs on that shelf. And this is going on that shelf. Definitely falls under category of legend. And I think it's a stunning... This was a card while I was going around today. I was trying to take my time and not rush into any big purchases. So in the tray that the seller had it in, I moved it to the front, and then I knew if I went back later and it was still there, I could get it. So after I got all the smaller stuff earlier in the day, I went back and I picked this up, and I just think it's a stunning card. I mean, the gold with the light blue looks amazing, and also the action shot's so cool. I mean, the Stadium Chrome set is known for the photography. And yeah, I had a quick look on eBay at some other autographs of De Bruyne, and this seemed, for the price I got it for, I was happy. And it's one of the best photographs he's got on a card. So I was super happy to bring this home. And this is sort of what I bought instead of buying any boxes. And this, I definitely would not have got a card this nice if I bought some boxes. So that one will be going on display. So yeah, it's probably by far the most cards I've ever come back. Well, single cards anyway. That I've come back from a show with from. Compared to the last show I went to, this was, from my perspective, a much better show because I was able to get all of this. I thought the selection of cards I could get was a lot better. There was like one seller, there was a couple of them there, and they had, I think it was the one I got the Viduka and the Defoe autographs from. They just had like 4 or 3 binders just full of autograph cards from various teams, and then they had boxes with autographs in as well. The only problem with Leeds is that a lot of the Panini autographs that we had in the sets I already own an autograph of. So the ones that they had, I either didn't want or didn't need. Like, I don't want a Sam Greenwood auto, which was one of the options, or like they had Meslier autos, but I've already got a Meslier auto. Unfortunately, they didn't have a Somerville. But they had an amazing selection. The one thing I found at this show was that the selection of boxes that there was only a couple of sellers that were sort of selling boxes, but the selection that was available weren't really stuff I was after. I quite like the low price blaster style boxes usually. I'm not a fan of the Tops ones, but like the Panini ones, the Selects and Prisms are the things I tend to gravitate towards if I'm going to buy a box. But I didn't really see much of them today. I think one seller did have some, but by that point I'd spent my money I was happy to spend that day. But I also think it reflects sort of the fact that Tops is just taking over, because the stuff that like Sports Card Direct had was a lot of team set boxes, but if you don't support Man City, Arsenal, Celtic, then they're not going to be things you're going to open. And then obviously that new Premier League top sets out, and it doesn't really appeal to me, because the checklist was done like before the season. So like half the lead squad is missing, players like Diego Jota are in it, Thomas Partey, and you're just like, it's not a set for this season if it's got all of that incorrect stuff in. It's just a hype set. So if they do an updated one where the actual lead squad's in there, because we sound like 10 new players, then I might get more involved, but I'm not interested in it at the moment. But yeah, I thought the venue was better. I think when I initially got there, some of the tables are harder to get to. But by about being there after about an hour, the crowd seemed to thin. And I was able to get to the flick through stuff a lot easier and sort of take my time. From what I spoke to, a lot of the sellers were quite friendly and happy to have a chat. I've met some of them before at previous shows, but there were new sellers there, and they were all quite chatty. There were some really nice cards available, and I would have come back more if I had a bigger budget, but I tried to stay disciplined, as I said. There was only one seller I found that didn't really have prices on things. I think it was the one I got the Silver Harry Kane from. And it's always hard when you're working on a budget as well. It's sort of hard to, because you don't want to pick 5 or 6 cards up and then not be able to afford them, because you don't know how their pricing's going to be. There was a couple of tables where prices were just too high, but I've just learned you just walk away from them, because the good thing today was because there was a lot of selection. If people were overpriced, you could just move on to someone else. So yeah, there wasn't a huge amount of Formula One. One seller did have quite a binder of it, but it was all a bit overpriced from my point of view. And then there was the odd F1 card in the room, but not many other than that one seller. And then there was some women's football, but not a lot. And I don't think the sellers who had it are that familiar with the cards, so they were a little bit off with prices. But I'm mainly collecting the England women's stuff now anyway, so any club stuff they had out, I won't pick up. But yeah, in terms of the overall show, I definitely enjoyed this one more. I liked the selection on available. I thought it was a much better venue. It's a bit harder to get to. That was the only thing, with it being in the centre of Liverpool and down by the docks. If you drive there, or even if you get the train, actually, Liverpool's train stations are nowhere near the docks. I drove, but it still was like a half an hour walk from the car park I went to. So that was the only thing with the venue. But if you could account for that time and walking down, then I think it was definitely a better choice than the Warrington one. And they put all the sports in one area as well, so you didn't have to get in amongst the Pokemon crowd. You could just go straight to the sports and spend your whole time there. So it was amazing from that point of view, because you weren't getting in the way of all the families and stuff who'd gone there for that. So yeah, overall, I would definitely enjoy myself nerding out. And I probably would go to a show at that venue again. And hopefully, they're able to have that kind of selection of sports again. So yeah, that was my review and showing of what I got, and I hope everyone enjoyed. Catch you later.